But it's very true. You do have power. I'm a perfect witness to the power your voice and your will has. I can't tell you the whole scenario of my life and experiences of things, but just standing up and say no, no, no does have an influence upon people. And it gets you a lot of respect because they realize you will fight for something. If I'm going to go against you, I'm going to have a fight. And people need to know that about yourself. You know, if you live a street life, those that know that world, all you have is your reputation. If you're known as a person that they can take advantage of, they'll keep taking advantage of you. They know that's the person you don't want to mess with because, you know, he may not be able to fight, but he's going to hit you a few times and you may not like it. So you better leave him alone. Sometimes people act tough around people they know they can dominate over because they're so willing to let themselves be dominated. And when people don't support things, that's basically what they're saying. Do whatever you want with me. I don't support nothing. So today's show is about that, you know, that support issue. Because it comes up a lot. And I'm going to be on tomorrow, as well as Friday, talking about two people, two projects that deserve support. And in regards to some of them, yeah, there's economic support. There's also petition support. But they symbolize the very thing that we're trying to get support for. You know, as much as people complain on Facebook, I'm like, what are you supporting with those views? And some people, to their credit, I mean, blessed to them, much respect to you, they say, yeah, I'll support that. We can differ politically, but I support that. You know, one of them is a film about social change and how it came about, which comes from the youth. It always comes from the youth. You know, when you get older, you sort of get used to the oppression and you get set in your ways and you're like, hey, well, you know, I can only do so much right now. But when you're young, you're like, hey, this is my future. This is all I got. And from the youth, most of the time, that's when other people say, well, I guess we better step in and do something because we see they're not going to stop and they do need our support. So let's support them. You know, that generational gap is hard to overcome sometimes. But in the 60s, 50s, you know, young black people spoke up. Their parents were like, listen, this is not how you act in public. They're like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not saying yes or no, so to nobody. Well, the parents didn't like it either, but they're like, hey, this keeps us going here. We don't need to make waves. The kids are like, I ain't making waves. I'm just not going to bow down. I'm going to grow an afro. I ain't cut my hair to make them feel safe and secure. I'm not going along with the program. So this film is about that generation that moved the civil rights process along. You know, we hear about Martin Luther King, but we don't hear about those people that he was coming out there for. You know, those lunch counter sit-ins, those were kids, students. My mother was one of those kids. But they were young people, and the parents were like, well, what are you doing? What are you, don't do that. And it's like, well, we must. We have to. And these are the stories that need to be told and supported. So I'll have him on tomorrow's interview to talk about that program and also about him. You may know him. He's an actor. And he helps a lot of children too. You know, he's a humble person. So I mean, I'm glad he's coming on to do an interview. And, you know, sometimes people have to talk about you because you won't talk about yourself. You know, we know about people as celebrities and say, oh, what a wonderful life. But we don't really know their life. We don't know they're really more dedicated to what they can do for other people. So sometimes other people have to talk about them. So I'll be interviewing Mr. Ken Sagos. You might know him from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. He's the black man, which ain't hard to pick out because there was only one. But he was in that and he survived. I think he was the first black man to survive a horror film, which is a good legacy. You know, you're in that same category, Jackie Robinson, the first. But he's also a comedian as well and so many other things. But he'll be on tomorrow to talk about his project and the things he's supporting and the support we should all provide, even $1. And there's a whole lot of fuzz, 50 million people in this country. I mean, 350 million people. I'm sure we all got $1, 50 cents. And also Friday, we'll be talking with creators of a new site, which is a very healthy site too. Information, we're in the information age. But a lot of our information as we see, it's not the real information. It's not all the pieces, some of them false pieces. So it's very important that in this age of information, we get the right information and have a resource for that. So that's a very critical project. You know, even with Wikipedia, which is nice, but some of that information is not correct either. So we need a resource where people are saying, I can validate this and these are the facts. You know, take away the opinions, take away the politics, just give me the information. So they're setting up a database of that information called Chronoscribe. You can check it out at chronoscribe.com. That's how you spell it. CHRONOSCRIB.com. I think it's .com. Let me see. Yeah, chronoscribe.com. So he'll be on Friday, Mr. John Martinez. And we're focused on education. You know, because there's a lot of things we can complain about, but at the root of all of it, we better have the information to work with. And education is where it starts.